Hi folks, hope you're all keeping well. This is just my walkie-talkie post-match reaction to the Ireland against Scotland game. Final score, Ireland 26, Scotland 5, and shit result really for Scotland, and a very shit way to end what is below par Six Nations in all honesty. After the strides we have made in the last couple of years, obviously the Six Nations 2 years ago, which COVID interrupted, 3 wins in a row for the first time since 1996, and last year beating England and France away from home in the same calendar year for the first time since 1926. So not bad records to break at all. Understand obviously COVID and no crowds might have played a slight factor, but on the whole I think we deserved those victories then. But this season we've just been a real big disappointment, and this Six Nations summed that up really. Overall, we just look like we lack ideas in attack when we have the ball. We make too many mistakes when we do have the ball for whatever reason, whether it's lack of patience or just lack of communication or just a simple, lack of concentration, etc., etc. And defensively as well, this Six Nations was our worst defensive performance since the 2019 World Cup, and our discipline, which is the worst of the championship, was absolutely awful. And I don't know where to start on that, but anyway, the game itself, Ireland came with a very simple game plan. I didn't actually think Ireland played all that great, to be honest. They played well, they played good enough to get the job done and do what they needed to do, but on the whole, they weren't overall that great. They mostly just relied on our real discipline and their forward pack physically charging through us, and that was typified in all of their tries, pretty much. And whereas when we got the opportunity, we wasted them, and it was absolutely typified by when it was 14-5. Stuart Hogg makes that break. He had 3 men inside him. All he had to do was pass to them, but he decided to go himself, and then was tackled into touch. Utterly selfish play, and Stuart Hogg, as well, it has to be said, he gets loads of lauds. People say he's a world-class player, etc. This Six Nations, not good enough. Just absolutely, sort of not the standards we should be expecting from our captain, nor someone who's a 90 plus cap international, 2 Lions caps, and he just did not deliver at the big moments in this championship whatsoever. And that is not something you want in a captain of a team that keeps talking about we want to be at least competing for Six Nations titles, and we've gone backwards in that. We've absolutely gone backwards, and Stuart Hogg absolutely typifies that. Actually, I think that against France, that drop putt pass where he should have caught it and maybe gone on to score the try. It was 12-10 to France at that point. That try, if he scored a try, then it would have put us in the lead. Against Ireland, 14-5. If he passed it inside, we would have potentially gone under the post, and it would have been back to 14-12. And then it's anyone's game. Then it's important moments like that captains of top teams don't get wrong, and captains of top teams and top captains are always putting the team above themselves, and I don't think Stuart Hogg does that often enough. And I like to compare him to Antoine Dupont, actually, not in terms of their playing ability, but in terms of them as captains. I mean, Dupont, he sort of works his socks off around the pitch, and he, as talented an individual player that he is constantly putting the team above himself all the time in everything he does, whereas Stuart Hogg, I don't think, does that often enough. And it's just really disappointing. And the thing is, as well, again, captains of good teams, they make sure they get the basic right on those moments. And I think also there's a bit of friction going on with the whole team right now, and there's a few other egos in the dressing room, Hogg being one of them, it has to be said, with regards to that night out they had after the Italy game, where they apparently breached team protocols and 6 players were disciplined for it. Again, for a team of professionals, this is professional rugby players we're talking about here, it's not good enough. It's you have a standard to set, and no other team in the Six Nations has breached protocols as such. So absolutely not good enough. And I mean, I don't know, I'm just kind of lost for words. I'm just not sure what else to say about this championship. I mean, Finn Russell, another one, like, just so inconsistent. At times I just wonder if he could be bothered turning up. It's like he does have his moments, like with the intelligent pieces of play. He played against England, which got us back into the game and then won us the game. And there was a couple of times against Italy he showed flashes of what he can do, but on the whole, again, just by his standards and how well he plays for Racing pretty much every week, why can't he reproduce that form for Scotland? Because I do think the pack gives him a solid enough base. He just either tries to showboat or in defence, as was shown against France for that Paul Valenzi try. He just seems very lazy, and I repeat, not good enough. Sort of top players who want to be top players and winning things, they turn up with their best foot forward in terms of effort all the time, and Finn Russell isn't doing that right now. I think also have to say, I think Jamie Ritchie was also a big miss for us after he got injured against England. I hope he recovers soon, but I think his sort of gruffness and his ability at the breakdown just to be a nuisance for oppositions was missed. I think Rory Darge, though, I think was a good addition, but I just didn't think, like, there were times it worked with him and Watson in the last two games as the 6 and 7, but I think it was just really sporadic. Hamish Watson himself had a very sporadic Six Nations, only played well in patches, and I think I would generally expect better from him. And apart from that, I mean, in attack, I have to say, like, apart from Duhan van der Merwe, who is probably our best strike runner and gets us more meters than any other player in the back line consistently, there just doesn't look like there's any penetration, and the times we do actually play with patience, we can break teams down, as we showed against France, as we showed against Wales, as we showed against Ireland when we got our try. And too often we're just too impatient. It's I don't know. I'm just rambling on now, aren't I? I'm just ranting on because I'm just so sick of this team. I'm just so sick of them just constantly talking it up in the press and not delivering it enough on the pitch. Anyway, I suppose I should talk about Ireland a wee bit. We got the job done. They deserved it. I still think they've got some improving to do, and in terms of where they are, they're behind France, of course, but I think there's still some areas that are hard to gauge, because against England, they played the majority of the match, obviously, with a man advantage, so, I think that, and the same with the Italy game, where they had two-man advantage for a lot of the time, and I think that with those two games, it's kind of difficult to gauge where you're really at. Against Wales, they were excellent. Against Scotland, I think, did the job done, were efficient, so I think it'll be a real gauge to see where Ireland are at when they go to New Zealand this summer, and that'll be something. That'll be a heck of a tour for them, so good luck to them there. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say here, folks. Scotland really poor, not good enough. Ireland deserved Triple Crown winners, and take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you later on.